Fine.
All right, because I noticed some works, I noticed that some of you had not shared any works. It kind of came off as a shock to me because I was actually checking the board after a long time and I didn't see much updates. I was wondering if any one of you are having trouble accessing it, understanding, because I can help you out if that is the case. All right. So cool. But yet some of you had indeed shared your work. All your work had been feedbacked. You can look into it. So in the same drive in which you have access, I have shared the folder in which student work it, and you can see all of your works have been there. All right, so you can look into it. Also, of course, you can check others' works as well, peek into others' works, because you can learn a lot from what others are doing. I mean, there are so many. Rosina has done a lot of vice, but I noticed that she hasn't done any contouring exercises. Mala auntie had done a lot of contouring exercises, in fact 3, but I didn't see any eye practice drawing from her. So look into each one of your stuff. Usha here is completing portraits on the like just like that. She's completing portraits. Notre Dame yesterday. This is how much I did.
I finished it.
Yeah, she finished it right then. There's like machine.
Also, guys, notice there's a new color in his life, green.
Oh, you don't wear colors, huh?
I typically wear black and white only, right? I typically have a same black t-shirt which I wear every time. So what happened is that yesterday we were going for a boat ride and then threw away my white t-shirt. So it was boat, it was nice and windy. So I took off my shirt because it was nice windy, I could enjoy it. And then my friend who was there, they got into this whole ZNMD vibe. You have all seen Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. There in which what do you say, Abedi tells Farhan to throw Hrithik Roshan's phone away and he in fact does it. Similarly, my friend told to throw him a t-shirt. He actually did it. And then I had to walk the streets shirtless. And then they got me this t-shirt. So I told her as a punishment, I'm going to embarrass you by wearing this t-shirt for today's session.
You.
This is good.
It's good. I don't think that your plan worked. Nowhere close to embarrassment, by the way.
Nowhere close to embarrassment, is it?
Yeah. I mean, she didn't make you wear pink and stuff, right?
No.
It's not embarrassing. Maybe I
Not
should give
embarrassing.
Sanchari some ideas.
Okay. Probably. How are you feeling now, Rasika?
I've been like overworked, but I took my vaccination.
Oh,
So I've been down because of the vaccine.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, you okay now?
Yeah, much better, but now oddly enough, I got diagnosed with few things. I've got low blood pressure, something that I didn't realize.
Low blood.
Do I work out? Yes, I work out. Like I run 10 kilometers a day.
10 kilometers.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Somehow.
That's amazing. 10 kilometers is the benchmark that I had set for myself, and
Really?
yeah, 10 kilometers. How much time do you take for this though? For 10
I take time. I need like so in 15 minutes I target like 4 kilometers. That doesn't happen. It goes on till like 20 minutes or so. So overall with my rest and stuff, I take like 1 hour.
That's very good. In fact, that's close to the time that I take. Close to the time that I take. Yeah. That you're running almost 9 kilometers per hour. That is very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Intense. Amazing.
It takes time. How I have blood pressure, I don't know, Niranjan. I've got low blood pressure.
Low blood pressure. So it's it's not. I don't know. Like typically, if you're overweight and all of that, that's when you get this high BP. But
yes, who has heard of low blood pressure? Exactly.
Low blood pressure. Probably I think you're exercising too much.
So I work out. Maybe it's too much for me because I work also after coming home, and maybe something is off with my pattern. So I've just not been keeping well. It's almost been a month. Though I'm working out, but yeah, it's going in a bit of plus and minus. Yeah.
Probably. Nice.
I have low BP too. Just increase fluids. It helps a lot. Yeah.
Why does that occur then? I mean, probably low BP means you can eat a lot of sweets. Is that how it works? You should.
No. Low BP is like the salts and other things are less in your body. So there's fainting spells and all that, dizziness and all those things which happen.
Wow.
So yeah. And
females are prone to low BP.
having, yeah. just increasing fluids helps a lot.
Oh, wow.
Anything, chas, soup, juices.
So you heard her, Rasika.
Yeah, thanks, Archana. Noted.
Yes, noted.
Yeah,
Noted.
it's you'll get better very soon. You'll see the difference immediately.
All right,
Definitely, I'm going to try this. Thanks a lot.
You should, you should, you should. All right, so trust the process. And today, what are we going to be drawing? Any ideas? We learned eyes, we learned the basics, fundamentals, portraits, and what's next? Nose.
Nose.
Yes, Tanvi points out nose. Okay. So the eyes, nose, lips, these are the first three parts that we have to need. Why? Because when we can get these three, we nearly have the portrait ready. We nearly have the portrait ready. The rest are formalities that we add up along the way. What we are going to be focusing on. And drawing the nose here. Drawing the nose here, we go with the methods we learned from the first. We learn the other views, the 3/4, we learn the profile view, we learn all of that. Do practice in all three views. And we follow the same method of first breaking down. It's a complex shape. If you notice, it does this. Most often when you draw nose, it's a very funny if you notice nose. Either you draw these two dots or you draw this big mushroom-like thing which doesn't make any sense. Which looks very cartoonish. Drawing the nose, in fact, you'll be surprised at a little intricacy that goes into it. But it's very easy. The most difficult part, trust me, is the eyes, which a lot of you have got it. I noticed the progress in Tanvi, day 2, day 3, very good progress. So going at that rate, I think you should all be doing pretty well. Nose, lips are all easy. You just need to understand what not to do. More than what to be done, eyes have a lot of intricacies, what to do, this to be done. For nose and lips, mostly understand in terms of what not to do. And then again, we follow the method of first dividing the complex shape into major forms, major blocks, minor blocks, and then we slowly break them into actual drawings. You can practice. When you're practicing, you can in fact practice them first as drawing solid objects like actual planes. In a lot of your practice exercises, you can see the transition. If you check out the Padlet board, you can see day 1, day 2, day 3. First, it's drawn as blocks, then it's smoothened, it's softened, draw as blocks, and then slowly, we will learn to smoothen. So let us get on with it. I have shared a PDF, practice PDF. So I want you all to download it and keep that open, because that's the first thing that we're going to be, that's what we're going to be referring. You all ready? You all ready to draw? Yes. Yes. I don't see any. Yes. Usha was drinking a coffee, I noticed. So you should all drink coffee. If you're tired, if you're sleepy, you should all have a coffee. Where is it? Yes. All right. So the first thing, let us understand a few key things before drawing this thing here. All right. So up here, I have a view of a nose in full front. Now, what's the simplest way you can break this down? Anyone wants to try? What's the simplest? If I told you to break this down into simple forms, what are the simplest way that you can break this down? Anyone wants to give it a try?
You can probably cut it into a cylinder.
I will give you a remote control, Tanvi. Yes.
Okay. I don't know how to use it though. I'll try though.
Okay. Anyways, then explain then.
Okay, so basically what I'll do is, if you look at the nose, we can break it down into a cylinder on the top, like a circular, half circular kind of cylinder, and then we can break this into a half spherical shape. These are the two ways two divisions we can make on the nose.
That certainly works. But before even we get into the cylinder, the simplest way that I would look into is, okay, so think about this. Notice the biggest planes that are coming into this. 1. Agree that here's another volume that goes here. So if you had to make think about it this way. If you had to make a model, a cardboard model of a human being, and you were a complete amateur, a cardboard model of a human being, you were complete amateur, and you had very less time. You didn't even have time to prep. You didn't have time to research and learn. What would be the way that you would make it? Or you can think of it as the largest volume which would enclose this form. It would be this. Do you agree? The largest volume, the simplest volume which could enclose this form. So this one you can one, 2, 3, 4. 4 simple volumes. In 4 simple volumes, you can represent the nose. Now let's try another view here. Yeah, here's a nose in profile view. Think about how you would represent this in a similar fashion. See, in this, if you consider the side view that goes here, and then there is this little bit of the front volume that you can see, little bit of it. I mean, of course, it spreads to the other side. And then, yes, again, you can number them. 1, 2, 3. And of course, we can't view the other side. If we could, we would see 4 surfaces. Yes. Let's try, let's look at another view. Sorry. Let's look at a 3/4 view. You don't have to, what you say, stress yourself into taking down notes. If you wish to, you can annotate, you can take screenshots. But at the end of the day, it's about understanding. It's about understanding, because I will give you notes where it's necessary. Consider this one here. Again, if you were to make that cardboard model, 1, 2, the reason we are doing this is so that we first understand the major volumes that needs to be represented. Major volumes that needs to be. So we don't want a nose in which the person is actually turning this way 3/4, but then we draw a nose in front. It will seem like his nose is dislocated. So the simplest things that you need to understand is the largest block, the largest volume that you can represent. Imagine it is being turned in different ways. This case, this block that is being turned in different ways. And then that basic placement has to be always understood and corrected when you're drawing a portrait. It's the first thing to draw. First step to drawing a nose. Yes? Are we clear with this? Yes? Now, let's get into a more detailed structural and anatomical study of the nose here. So take open your sketchbooks and let's take down some notes. Okay, so when you're considering the nose here, there are certain components to the nose. The first is we have this we have this component called the nose bridge. So if your nose is starting from here, this comes at the top of the nose here. This component is a bridge, what you call the nose bridge. So it extends a little more. It extends a little more. And this nose bridge, if you consider this one here, so it has this slight tapering, slight tapering division that cuts here. Feel along your nose, just feel along your nose, you'll see that there is a slight, sometimes it's very, very subtle, it's very, very soft. This isn't exactly a single volume, there's a slight tapering, like it's almost like a step here, almost like a step here. Can you feel it? It's almost like a small step here at the tip of this nose here, what you call the nose bridge. And then this is in fact not one component, you can divide this into several components here. There's one major part that comes here, and then this bends down here. This, in fact, if you notice, your nose, feel along this one, it comes here, and then there is this portion that bends down here. Do you notice? It bends down here. It is prominent for some people. It is not so prominent for others yet. It comes, it bends down, and then it goes out. Yes. So you have this form that bends down, and then again it goes out. From here, you have the next portion. This is what what we see as this tip of this nose here. These are called the balls of the nose. These are called the balls of the nose. So this tip here, if you notice this tip, it hooks inside. It hooks inside. And some of the common errors that I have seen when people draw noses, this volume, this three-dimensionality is sometimes ignored. So when that happens, we just draw a nose. We just draw a nose like this. We just draw a nose like this and like this. We don't consider the three-dimensionality, this hook here, the slight hook that comes here. And then, of course, by its side, I'm splitting these parts so that you understand them better. You have this another part here, which you call the wings of the nose. The wings of the nose. Again, this hooks in and this comes here. So sometimes you ignore this, sometimes you ignore this. Never do that. Always when you're considering, consider that these components that exist here. Okay, so this is what you call the bridge of the nose. Here you have the ball of the nose, and then here you have the wings of the nose. These are the three major components. When put together, they look like this. They look somewhat like this. All right. Now, yeah. Then moving further on, let's divide them into major planes, shall we? So consider this. You have this bridge of the nose here. You have the bridge of this nose here. This is one major plane. And then this extends sideways. See? So what we initially did was, we turned them into simple volumes. We divided them into simple volumes. Now within these volumes, we tried to make smaller planes. So the first major plane looks like this. You have this coming here, and then you have these balls of these nose, which comes here. You have the bottom, which fits within this. The bottom which fits within this. And then of course, this here we have the wings, which extends beyond this. Yeah, these wings which extends beyond this. Try it out.
What views that, Niranjan?
This is your 3/4 view. This is your 3/4 view. Let's try another. We are trying to suggest and make the simplest of things. We're not getting into the details of it yet. Don't worry, we'll look into it. We're just trying to represent the nose in the simplest possible manner here. Let's try another here. How do we make the first and initial suggestion of the nose? The first basic view. And we'll try enclosing it within this one here. See, we have here. We have your block within this. Let's try representing capturing the nose within this one here. So here we have a major plane that comes here. We have this major plane that comes here as well. So we're just drawing them as blocks, all right? Another major plane that comes here. Use these strong suggestive lines. I'm deliberately using my pencil here because I'm suggesting this. And then here there is a step-like structure on this. It goes down and then it rises up again to form this, what do you call this? The ball of the nose. See? Form them into 3D shapes. The ball of the nose. I'm also forming these bottom plane here. See this? Enclose the ball within this. Let's also draw the wings of the nose within this. It has a bottom plane which comes within this, and then this need not at this stage, don't worry about making it look like a realistic nose. Understand what goes on within these. Yes. Just trying to get a suggestion of the nose here. Hold on, guys. I just have an emergency call. Just have written. I'll be back.
Mm. Mm.
So you all have your tracing papers, right? I want you all to take out your tracing papers right now. Take out your,
Niranjan, one small doubt. If you
yes,
don't mind the front view of the nose, can you just explain again, Niranjan? I'm not clear.
yes, that's what we are getting.
And I think it's very stunted, like no, the length of the nose also. So it's quite
Yes, we are getting that. We are getting that. I want you all to take out your tracing. I want you all to take out your tracing papers right now. Take out your tracing papers right now. Look at that.
the plain one or with a grid.
A plain one.
Okay.
Plain tracing paper. This. Let's draw them one by one. So this one here, I'm first drawing out the three major volumes here in this. You can draw them slightly longer.
Just draw it directly like how you're doing, is it?
Yes. Draw over them.
With a pencil or pen?
Pen.
Oh.
Okay. So I'm just folded over my tracing paper here so that I get another clean layer on this. Now, yes, let's retry drawing the planes onto the sea. What are the components that we have into this? Firstly, we have what you call the ball of the nose, which is like this round here. You have the ball of the nose, which is like this round here. And then we have these wings, which are like two rounds that project out of this. First, let's suggest with pencils. Two on the suggest here. And then we have this bridge here. Okay. This is the basic understanding for the nose. Now, within this, let's mark out the major planes that goes into this one. On this, I will first draw out this bridge. First one plane here, and then this kind of slopes downwards. It is often an unnoticed feature of the nose. You have this bridge which slopes downwards. And then for the other side of this nose bridge, you have this step-like surface. And you see the sideward projection which goes to it, which goes towards here. Here as well, a step-like thing, and then this goes out towards the sides. And you have this nose, ball of this nose. Which is like this round. It has this volume, lower volume. You have these wings which project outwards onto this. Again, let's draw them as blocks in the first attempt. Yes, this has a volume here. And it hooks inwards. See this? When we don't draw this hook, we draw the nose as that is when we draw nose like this. Doesn't seem so real, isn't it? Let's try for this one here. It goes here. Yes. This is your most basic representation of the nose. Are you all able to get this?
Just 1 minute till we finish this.
Sure, no problem. Take your time.
Niranjan, can you show that base, that red color?
Which base?
The red-
Yeah, how both of them are related, is it? Is this what you want to see?
If you don't mind, just once more you can draw. We'll draw it along with you.
Sure, no problem. I can draw it 100 times if it's necessary. See, I'm drawing over this. See this? How it neatly fits into this volume. Of course, this is not your nose. We are getting into the nose with this. But you should be comfortable with this. You should be first comfortable with representing them in this volume. Then further, we are breaking it down into these kind of volumes, each of them being broken down into smaller volumes, and then this. It's just two understanding. Firstly, we represent them as a kind of like a stone block. Second thing, we represent them as different parts. As in, here you have this bridge. Here you have what you call the bridge. Here you have what you call the ball. And here you have what you call the wings. And each of these components, we are representing them as larger blocks with massive volumes. Don't think about softening them. Just draw them as blocks with volumes. Yes? Is anyone having trouble following along?
Niranjan, I had a
Yes.
question like while we are waiting.
Yes, Jessica.
So, from what I've noticed, a lot of times when we draw a nose,
Mhm,
because of the foreshortening involved, we
mhm,
only draw like one suggestive line, that shows the bridge of the nose and
mhm,
just the wing part.
mhm. Are you talking about the manga nose?
No, because what I've noticed a lot of times they show the nose in terms of a shadow itself.
Right, right, right.
Like they don't even draw the whole nose. It's mostly once you render the shadows, that is what the depict as nose.
Mhm, mhm,
So
mhm,
I want to understand if foreshortening has to happen,
mhm.
then I want to understand that foreshortening happens on which part of the nose, as in the red colored lines that you've drawn.
Mhm.
So if you noticed, you have dotted those red colored lines in some area.
Yes, these dots I have shown so that you understand these different parts. As in, this is your bridge, this part is your ball, and this part is your wings.
So does that mean that the area above the red line which you just drew
Mhm.
is the one which is subjected for foreshortening?
Right, right. So firstly, let's understand what is foreshortening. So foreshortening is, Rasika, look at me now. I'm looking up.
Yeah. Yes.
Now what happens is you're seeing my face in one point perspective. Yes, you're seeing my face in one point perspective. Or you can think in much easier terms, you can understand it as this is the part that you can see. This is the part you can see closely, and this is the part that is turned away from you. As a result of it, these areas appear to be smaller than it really is. Foreshortening is simply another term that what is in one point in linear perspective, what happens on streets, you're just applying it to people. You're just applying it to faces. Or you have my hand here. See, these, when you look at this one, this is a very, very famous pose here. So when you look at this, my palms look massive. It looks massive. It looks bigger than my face here on this camera, but it is not. Right, it really is not bigger than my hand here. Whereas these palms here, they appear to be very small. In fact, when you look at it plainly, this palm appears to be much smaller than my right one. That is what foreshortening is. So the vanishing points as it recedes towards the vanishing point here, the parts that are further away from you, it becomes smaller. The parts that are closer to you becomes larger. That's about foreshortening. Now, what is subject to foreshortening? It depends on how you turn. It depends on how the person turns. Is the person lying like this? Is the person coming forward? Is the person lying to the left? Is he lying to the right? It all depends on each one of these. Yes, Jessica?
Okay, but why is it so that the foreshortening is most commonly seen in nose? Very rarely we see it in eyes.
Eyes, yes, yes. Look, consider the shape of the nose. No, consider the shape.
Mine
of
is
the nose.
pointy.
Yeah, nose is pointy, nose is long. Which other part can you see that is actually long? If you notice the lips, the eyes, brows, all of them actually are like arches, curves. See, for a shape like this, the foreshortening will be there, but it's not even that prominent. My eyes, when you see like this, it's large, it's prominent. When you turn it backwards, when you go backwards, it's small. It's in fact small, but it's not that prominent. Whereas nose is lengthy. It's like this bridge. It's like this marker. When you turn it this way, foreshortening becomes very much more prominent. That is why for nose, foreshortening is very clearly visible.
I see. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yes. So shall we move on? Let's try a 3/4 view right now. Okay. So for 3/4 view, how would you represent? How would you represent the block? The first thing is, so you don't have to, whenever you're drawing, you don't have to draw the block and then draw over it. Here we're just trying to understand. Eventually, it's like think of this as your first guiding principles. Eventually, we can let go of them. So let's try a block here. In this one, I can't see much of the below the nose surface, so I'll just draw a block like this. Okay. Your surface 1, your second surface. This is enough. First surface, second surface. This is easier to understand. Number 1, number 2. Yes, have you been able to get this block? Number 1 and number 2. Now, within this, let's try enclosing a nose within this. So how do you draw? You have this, you have these balls of this nose that comes here. You have these wings of this nose again. And you have this bridge. Let's try breaking them into smaller planes. So first within this bridge, I have this first major block. I have this block here. It goes slightly downwards. And then it gets picked up from here, forms this block. Here there is a step. See, when you're drawing, we are trying to learn here. So when we are drawing nose, this step, let's understand it's not very, very prominent. As we try out the practice examples here, from what we shared, it's not going to be this prominent, but it is there. Here, let's form the side of this. You can make some further divisions here for you to understand. And then here it has to come, it has to hook inwards. Do not forget that this has to hook inwards. Sometimes we just draw the side of the nose and we say it's done. No, this has to hook inwards. See? Are you all able to get this now? Is it slowly starting to resemble a nose? Yes. Let me again redraw over this to help you understand the correlation. I'm just drawing it slightly bigger so that there's no confusion involved. See? And what I represent as dotted are the different parts. So I'm just making these dots to help you understand. We have this ball, wings, and the bridge. Are you all ready? Yes. Yes. Respond with yes if you're ready. If you have been able to follow up till here and you're all ready. Yes. Yes. Okay. Now that we got these major planes dropped on, now that we are ready, comfortable drawing them as planes, major planes here. Or let's try the side profile view as well. Let's try the profile view as well. How do we draw the profile view? Let's try on this. One. Two. Even slightly bigger. Yes, slightly turned away. That's only difference between your 3/4 view and your profile view. Slightly turned away. Imagine the same form. This one is rotated, and that's why this is formed. This is further rotated, and we get this. It becomes very comfortable for when you understand them as simple volumes rather than complex shapes. Now, within this, let's try enclosing them into a same method that we tried. So let's break it down into your planes here. How would you represent this? So firstly, let's draw it by exactly drawing out the ball of the nose. The wings, it projects out of this.
The wings has to come within that frame, right? It should not come out too much.
Yes, not too much. I mean, then what is the point in drawing the frame? Right. The frame is what encloses this. So it should not come out too much.
Okay.
And then you have your bridge here. Okay. Now, how are we going to draw? How are we going to further represent this one here? So as for this, we can't see much. We can't see much of the front of this one here. So this comes this one here. See, this is turned towards here, and then your turn. It reflects. It's seen this way, and
This is side view, Niranjan.
side view. You have your step. You have your side, which comes. And then you have your nose, seen from the side. Block, and it's hooked. Yes. Let's get on with some practice exercise now. Yes, ready? Are you all able to get this? Archana able to follow? How about Rasika? You're all able to follow? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, brilliant. Now open your PDF and let's try some practice exercises straight from it. So the first one that I'm going to be drawing, you can see a lot of varieties of noses. Yeah, I'll first draw the first one. It's in page 7. You can see a black man. Let's try drawing out the nose of this person. So the very first thing that I do when I'm drawing it really large here. Okay, I'm drawing it really large here. So I'm going to be occupying this 50% of my paper for each of these sketches. I'll just occupy the full page, no problem. So first, again, let's start by blocking out the large volume. If you notice, his nose is broad. And then I can see the bottom of this. This is how I would first draw and close the volume here. See, how would you represent the volume onto this?
Niranjan, I can't see the full page, Niranjan.
Half of it is. And also, if you notice, so Rasika had asked about foreshortening. Analyze this nose structure here. So if you notice, because of the particular nature of the nose, so most of the facial components are straight. If you notice the nose alone, it tilts. Nose alone tilts. So because it tilts here, because this tilts at an angle, in fact, a little bit of foreshortening happens. So the nose, in fact, appears to be slightly smaller than it really is. Here, as compared to the rest of your body, your nose, because of its sidewards tilt, when I see it from here, it in fact appears to be slightly smaller than it really is. That's something that needs to be considered. How have I broken down the volumes for this person here? 1. 2. 3. That's it. This is the way that we have divided. Now let us try drawing further into this. Okay. So the very first thing that I do is I start breaking it down into its components. Here's your, what do you call this? Guys, what do you call this?
Ball.
Ball. Yes, exactly. A ball. Right. From here, let's extend some wings onto this. So we form the structure so that it gives us an understanding. See, this part here hooks underneath this. This part here, it hooks underneath this. Here as well. You have your thing, you have your wings, which spreads outwards. You add a little bit of volume into this, and this has to hook inwards. And let's break down this volume here. See, now if you notice the step that I spoken about, it is not so prominent in this, yet it exists. It's not so prominent, and also the slope, it is not as prominent as we had earlier sketched into this. Yet understanding this will help us draw them better, will help us sculpt them better. And then we have this side volume. See, when you draw them, it forms this shape with these volumes. Now let's try inking them. Here I'm taking one bold step. Here I'm taking one bold move and actually smoothening these surfaces. These are all rather blocky surfaces. You can draw them like this. You can draw them as blocky surfaces for your ease. Has to slope downwards, and then it comes out again. Here, this part here again. We can break them down into as many surfaces as necessary. when you're initially sketching. Break them down into as many surfaces as necessary. Don't worry about smoothing them. And let's provide a context to this as well. Just as I told you, when you're drawing the eyes, draw with two eyes so that you get a certain context to what you're drawing. Here as well, this will help you get a context for your work here. We just draw this lids here and then these eyes. Slightly suggest these eyes. Just suggest these eyes. All right. Yes, are you here with me? Have you all been able to sketch so far?
Yes, Niranjan.
Yes. Okay. Now, next I'm just going to take a leap of faith and I'm going to start inking out the outline in a very smooth fashion. There you go. Congratulations. You have nearly drawn the nose. Let's now erase out the unnecessary guidelines here, which you drawn with pencils. We have the basic suggestions. The drawing should somewhat resemble this. It should have these components. Are you able to keep up? Yes, are you ready? Are you able to keep up?
Just 2 more minutes, Niranjan. Finishing.
Sure, no problem. Smoothen out the blocky volumes that you had drawn that we have been practicing till now. We drew that. When we ink them, we smoothen them. Sometimes when a lot of artists they practice, they first divide them into blocks. I mean, they actually draw these volumes into blocks, practice, understand that we are now getting into the inking of this with respect to the light and shade and all of it. So they in fact represent it as blocks and volumes, and amidst each of these blocks, they show it as a different tone. But that's because they have a lot of time on them. And here we are trying to learn a nose in an hour and a half. And we can't really go that much in depth here. But this will help you to draw a nose well. Ready? Yes, yes. Deepak's ready, Pratya's ready, Hema's ready.
Ready?
Yes, ready. All right. So now let's get into this. So now we are trying to contour. Now we are trying to contour this form here. Okay. When you're contouring, the first and most important thing is to understand the eye level. I noticed that in a lot of your work here, when you're contouring, there's a slight there's a confusion as to where the eye level is and all of it. So let's understand this here. Where would the eye level be in this? Where would the eye level be here? Does anyone want to come up and share the response? Where would the eye level come in this? Lower. Where lower though? Can you point out the position? I'm accepting request here. Anyone wants to, then we can actually try annotating here. Where would the eye level come in this? Can we? Vijita annotated. Yes, yes, yes. That makes sense. That in fact makes sense. That in fact does seem like a very, very sensible position for the eye level in fact. Yes, yes. See, you notice most often, good one, Vijita. So most often when we see the eyes, we think of the eyes as the eye level. And we think of the eyes as the eye level. And that is the way it is in most of the cases, provided you're seeing the face from up front. In your portrait practice, you see a lot of face in which it is in fact up front. So when it is up front, your eye level is in fact here. Here I'm seeing the portrait from below. So my eye level would be here. This seems like the most sensible position for me to place the eye level. But I'm actually looking from here. Yes, I'm looking from here. So with this understanding, let's try drawing out the contour. Let's try drawing out the contour in this, contouring volumes in this here. Using my pencil. So here is my eye level. What is above my eye level? I have to curve upwards. See? It has to curve upwards. This is how these volumes come. So in fact, these are not sharp, but in fact, they have a small tapering that goes this way. Right, it's not perfectly sloping, it in fact tapers a little bit like this. Here as well. In fact, it's not perfectly sloping, it tapers down a little bit here. And here. And see, more or less the eye level is here. It's somewhat here. Again, this part is also above my eye level. I curve it this way. See? Here the volume is larger, so you don't curve it in the same fashion. If you curved it in the same fashion, then you're disregarding the volume of this nose. So how is this volume? It's round and it curves outwards, doesn't it so? It curves outwards this way. So when we draw this one, we exaggerate the volume here. See, we give it a larger curve. This is how we understand contours. See, we give it a larger curve. It's not the same level of curvature as this. Is anyone having confusion on this? We need to give this a larger curve.
Now we can understand little better than when we started.
Now we can understand a little better than we started. Of course, start of the session, end of the session. Okay, here as well. See, Again, don't consider the same curvature. When we are trying to understand contouring, we curve it this way. When we curve it this way, we are just continuing it as a, we are just considering it as a single volume. Whereas when we consider a volume like this, in which three of them have three different curvatures. When you consider volume, in which three of them have three different curvatures. One goes this way, next one curves more, and then each one of them follows a distinct curve, distinct and unique, distinct curve. For a smooth surface, we follow a single straight line. And then here, I curve this. Yes. Sketch so far. Yes. All right. So now after this one, let's ink them up. Let's ink them up. So considering where will the light be in this? So in this, if you notice, the light is in fact coming from the front. The light is coming from the front, and these are the portions that are lit. This one portion is a portion that is majorly lit, and this one. So the light source is from the front. And towards both of these, and these are the shadowed ends and these are the shaded ends. Both of these sides are shaded. So in fact, this part is kind of mid. This part follows along the mid tone, and this part is slightly darker. This part is slightly darker. This is light, this is mid tone. There are shaded regions here as well. Let's try inking them. So
You're keeping light in this, Niranjan?
sorry?
You're keeping light in this, sir?
Yeah, we are considering the light in this. Consider the light source in this, you know. Right, see, look at this one here. We have the light source here.
Ah, yes.
Here and here.
Okay.
Right, and these regions are shaded. This part is in fact, since the light source is slightly coming from the left side, I can tell that from the right side, my right side, and this person's left side, because this portion here is slightly lighter than this side. Do you notice?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So keep that in mind and notice how this is darker. Let's ink them now. So of course, when we draw these inking strokes, we're not exactly drawing them as contouring lines. Contouring lines are there to help us guide our pen strokes. In this form, your pen strokes first a loose layer of pen strokes. These are lighter. Because there is a step structure that I said, I straighten my strokes a little and then I curve them out. See, loosely form these. Here's your favorite part, your inking. And do not disregard the curvature here. I'm using my 0.1 tip sized pen for this. Let's draw some more strokes from this end, from this side as well. flick your pens here so that you're able to capture this. And then here I curve them so that I can capture this volume here. Again, see the common one common mistake that you should avoid is, since you have curved it this way, you should not follow the same curvature here. As we had previously discussed, this is going to follow a different curvature. This volume is different from this. It curves up. The ball, this is the ball of the nose. So this curves outwards. So we respect that. We add a more curved stroke for this. See this? I'm slightly curving up my tones here, amping up the curve here. Let's erase out the contour. Let's erase out the contouring lines to get a better picture.
Niranjan, one question.
Yes.
How do we draw the shadows like around the nose?
Yes, we will get there. We'll work on the shadows and all of these. Have you been able to follow along the first layer of strokes?
Yes.
Yes, we'll get there. We'll get there. We just made the first layer. Now we'll work on the second layer. We'll cross hatch over this. What you need to be able to understand is these component parts should be clear, and then the curvature for each of this has to be distinct. When I look at it, I should not think of this and this is the same form. It should not be flat. The curvature has to be distinct and visible. And of course, how distinct you make it depends upon the reference image. Depends upon what you're looking at it and drawing. Consider this as a simple volume, a simple shape over which you're trying to draw. I'm going to add my next layer of strokes here. I'm going to cross hatch here. So considering that the light source is my light source, the second shadow, this is under shadow. So I will work on my second layer of strokes here. Let's cross hatching them. When you're cross hatching, follow the same set of strokes that you had done. Let's draw them. Let's draw a little bit of them here. Push the strokes out.
Niranjan, little slow, Niranjan. Let's catch up with you.
Sure. I just went with the flow. No problem.
I mean, if we miss it, then we are lost.
We are lost. Yeah, no problem. See, when we are cross-hatching, I mean, considering that you've done so many drawings, I'm not getting into the nitty-gritties and explaining the cross-hatching. Do you want me to do that? I can do that. No problem.
Not needed. Just that we want to catch up with you.
Right. Where exactly am I going too fast to? Is the explanation part? Is it the rendering?
Cross hatching.
Okay, no problem. All right, I will just put the strokes into zero. Yes, the space would do.
Yeah, fine.
See, what needs to be understood when you're doing this is, if I make a stroke, so look at this volume here. This volume that comes here, since I have laid, I'm drawing this volume. So this acts like a cylinder here. This is like the cylinder here. So if since I have drawn the initial strokes this way, my cross hatching will go accordingly. See, and this part here, it comes down this way. It comes down this way. It's like a fold here. So see, I don't exactly draw them as these flat surfaces. Don't draw them as flat surfaces, but you'd rather show them as it being pulled inwards this way. See, it is being pulled inwards this way. Notice this. This is how you would represent the flat surface versus this is how you would represent the nose, which is in fact curving inwards. The difference is subtle, but it's there. Get it? And my cross-hatch strokes will also have to follow this curve. The difference is subtle, but it is there. In the meantime, let's also draw within this. Let's also draw within this space here. You don't have to draw them as flat edge strokes. So I'm representing the inside, right? I'm going to draw these strokes that are within this inside. So I'm showing the internal. See this volume here. It's like this bowl that is turned downwards.
Mm.
It's like this bowl that is flipped over.
Willow.
Guys, can you kindly keep yourself on mute? It's like this bowl. This part is like this bowl that is flipped over. So how would I represent inside this bowl? See, I'm also cross-hatching within this. See that? A lot of times when these darker areas are drawn, we tend to draw them flat, and that just flattens the shape. We can, by understanding how the volume actually is, we can create some really, really stunning strokes, stunning expressions. See this? Again, this one. See, it's this bowl that is, it's like this bowl that is flipped over. I'm really showing how it is inside this nose. And I'm cross-hatching here. Is this space comfortable for you all?
Yes, Niranjan.
Yes. No, I mean, you don't have to. If you want me to slow down, I can slow down. At the end of the day, you have to understand. Now, are you able to get a version similar to this?
Yes.
Yes, you're happy. I can sense happiness in it, in your voice.
Yeah.
Hey, Niranjan, I've got a question here.
Yes, please.
So, how to not make your nose look like a hairy worm?
How to not make your nose look like a hairy worm? I have to look at your drawing. Let's
No,
have
mine
a
is not looking like a hairy worm, but it might if I.
I don't know what you mean. What do you mean by hairy worm, though?
So what happens is, so have you seen a centipede?
Yeah, I've seen a centipede. I've seen a centipede.
So how does that centipede's legs are no? It has like 100 of them, right? So I have a feeling if I do something wrong, it will look like that.
I don't know.
As
like,
in, how do I avoid that?
Draw something like that only, then I can say, because I'm not able to understand what you're saying. Like, if anyone can understand, if they explain, it would be nice. It sounds like it's a very nice question.
How can it be nice if you cannot understand?
It sounds very cute. The question sounds very cute.
No, I was just making it, and while making, I got scared of my own thing because, like, a part of it, I realized that. So when we cross hatch, no, so if you notice, the whole cylinder slowly transforms into a sphere, and then we are cross hatching the sphere essentially, right?
Yes. Whole cylinder transforming to a sphere. Yes.
Now that is a big problem because so I was doing it with pencil, and I realized it will end up looking like a centipede's legs if I continue doing this.
How to avoid looking at it? How to avoid?
Yeah. Like, what should I do that I should not do?
Now, so the thing is, abrupt transitions always ruin the drawing, unless you're representing them as a blocky surface, which of course you could. When you're starting out, if getting the smooth transition, what you put was a very good You said it very well. It's like a cylinder slowly transitioning to a sphere. So if firstly, get this slow, smooth transition. Secondly, represent these volumes here. Because see, this part is often ignored when drawing nose. We tend to ignore them. This hook of the wings here, and then this three-dimensionality, this volume here. So each of them, if you pay close attention, it shouldn't be that much of a challenge. But draw a wrong nose, and then I'll be able to explain better. I can explain how not to make it look that way. Because a lot of you make such innovative errors, and I don't know. I'm at a loss of what to say. Okay, so we
Yeah,
have
I mean,
this.
it can go wrong very horribly.
It can go wrong. very
That's
well.
what I noticed, right? Especially in nose compared to the eye section.
Let's add further depth onto this region here. I'm just adding some more depth onto this region. Adding some depth onto this. See, and let's add some more.
Niranjan, I have a question, Niranjan.
Yes, please.
That artist Alfonso, he does one style of doing like, he doesn't do cross hatching much. Blocks it into small areas and does it.
Yes. He blocks it down into smaller.
Can you teach us that as well? How do you block the nose into like different turns and twists and make it look?
Sure. See, what Alfonso does is very, very interesting. He takes what he does is he mostly studies older men, older people, because older people,
lot of wrinkles and
this comes.
Yeah.
So what he does is a very interesting question here. What he does is he observes them very closely, and he studies the wrinkles and all of it. Yeah. I can show you a basic version of what he does. I mean, for that you need
draw the picture perfectly well and block it. So
block it down into smaller volumes. I will show you.
I want to learn that as well.
Sure, we'll get that. We'll certainly get that. So we are just doing this might be too simple for you, I suppose, right?
No, not like that. Different ways of doing we can learn.
Sure.
This is also interesting. This is good. But I'm curious about how he does.
Sure. It's nice. Curiosity is nice. I would love to help you with it. We'll connect after the session. Yes.
Okay, Niranjan.
See, consider this. I'm drawing these strokes here, and that helps bring out the volume here. See that? Let's try them out. Let's try this. See. And when I draw this one here, I'm changing the direction of my strokes here. So this part here. Yes, these strokes are curved here, and I curve it here. So this is like this ball. This part here is like a ball where my eye level is here, and below it, I curve it this way. This is above it. This part is above it. I curve it this way. And here I curve it this way. So if you can get these basics correct, it shouldn't be that much of a challenge. If you study older people, the wrinkles of folds, all of them makes it very interesting. If you notice Alfonso Den's drawing, he looks especially in his eye drawings, very interesting. He looks into the smaller contours, smaller details.
Yeah, I want to learn Niranjan.
All of them.
To make it into compartments and
all of that. Yes. It's very advanced. It's very advanced. I mean, it takes what you say. Once you get this basics thorough, you just need to take more complex case studies. You just need to take more complex subjects, not case studies, more complex subjects, and then try drawing them out.
Okay. Maybe I'll do that.
Yeah,
What was the name again of the artist?
Alfonso Dunn, artist Alfonso Dunn.
Okay, okay.
You can just check. You can just check him on Instagram. So see, I will show you.
Oh yeah, you've shown him. You've shown his work once.
Yes. I've shown him. A lot of what I learned by just simply studying his work. He even has a book on pen and illustration. See, so notice the. Okay, so pay attention to this. No, see, this is a video. Something. Okay, so look at this one here. See the skin fold. Notice how he has first drawn out the smaller volumes, and then within the smaller volumes, it's the same technique that we are learning, but then these are drawn separately. There's nothing new to this. It's just that these are broken down into smaller volumes, and drawing older people offers an excellent opportunity for that with these folds, wrinkles. See, notice how the drawing is evolving. It's evolving beautifully. It's just that it's more what you said. There is more volume to work with. Smoother volumes.
So much patience is required.
So much patience. Okay? It's very meditative, in fact. So that look at the folds of these hands. Each of these. So notice the fingers are not coming as a single stroke, but rather they come. It curves. Each of the folder curves. This is what you were asking about, right, Usha?
Yes, Niranjan.
Yes. It's just that you just need to take more complex, what you say, more complex subjects and try them out. That's it. Easier said than done.
Can we do that for a young person also? These kind of things, will it be good?
Provided the young person.
But the skin is smooth, so we can't do much.
Yes, that's the thing. The skin is smooth, right? Here,
so we apply this for a smooth skin. No,
it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Right. This is a more folded rough skin. It's like drawing textures. Like imagine what we had done for. Remember what we had done for drawing the rock textures and other stuff. Yeah. It's the same stuff. Let's continue our work here. And I'm adding depth along these edges to just demarcate them. We're adding depth along these edges to demarcate them. And here as well, I'm adding some depth to these. Let's add some more strokes here. See here at this place of demarcation, I can clearly make the volume. See this volume? It goes like this, and then it rises up. See this volume? It rises up, and it goes like this. See that? Let's add some strokes onto this as well. Notice how my strokes are such that it is sucked inwards. I'm not drawing it as a flat surface, but rather this volume here is slowly curved inwards. Here as well. Here it puffs it outwards. Let's add some strokes here onto these planes. I'll add some additional toning work onto here so that this region of light, these are the two regions of light, it becomes more clearly, distinctly visible when I add some toning work onto this. Okay. There's your nose. Yes. Of course, you can add some more volume here, some more strokes here, some more volume to represent this. Okay. So tell me when you're ready, respond with yes when you're ready. Yes, yes. If you're done, share your work within the group and I will have a quick look at your drawings. All right, so let's analyze some of your work here. And thank you, Usha. Thank you, Usha, for sharing this in the group. So a lot of you have been able to get the fundamentals. A lot of you have been able to get the fundamentals of the structure well. Just that all of your noses look very, very unique. So as far as the resemblance is concerned, Pratya has captured the resemblance of the reference the closest. When I look at Rasika's here, although, hey Rasika, you here? So
Yes, Niranjan. I'm
yes.
here.
So, okay, so when I look at your nose here, the thing is it looks like one single structure. So this nose here, it's like this cylinder that gradually evolves into a sphere. And that is what is formed here. So how can we correct this? Okay, so pay attention to this.
Yeah.
consider its volume here. It's about understanding how this volume goes. Here's your basic form, your bridge. And then what happens is, what you had done is you took it directly from here, you took it. So hence, you directly took it and it appears flat as it is because you directly took it as it is. Rather, imagine a sphere that is placed onto this. You've seen Joker's noses. It's in fact exaggerated. It's very round. This exaggeration has to come here. See this, like, exaggerate them. It's all right if you exaggerate them a little bit. It's all right. You will learn how to make them subtle later, eventually. But the most important thing is to understand. This part needs to be exaggerated, and this exaggeration, it is distinct from this. You can also go back to contouring them. Like you can also go back to breaking them down into volumes like this. Breaking it down into volumes like this and drawing them this way as well. You can take a printout of the reference image, keep your tracing paper over it, and try tracing the contours over it to understand better. You can do all such techniques over this. Right.
Got it, Niranjan. Yeah.
Got it. You can.
I tried to make it very seamless, but I overdid it a little. I think.
Yes.
I got it. Yes.
Got it. You try to make it seamless, but the problem is, in your efforts to make it seamless, you ignore the change that happens as a result of it. It's okay if you exaggerate it. That is why it's always better to start by blocking them into larger volumes. See, a more simpler version of this would be.
Hello?
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 I can't hear you, Niranjan.
Yes, I'm coming. Simpler version of this would be to break it down into volumes like this. You can do this later at home. You all can do this later at your home by taking a printout of the reference and then breaking it down into planes as we had learned. See, here's how we had done the planes. See this? This plane pops out of this. This is how this plane comes. This plane is in fact really exaggerated, really big and wide. See, this nose needs to go down. See this? And then again here. I've broken this down into volumes. Can break it down into 3 forms here. See? And then this comes here. So break it down into smaller volumes like this and try connecting them. In this way, you'll be able to better understand the volume. And then you can slowly make it more seamless along the go. Yes?
Yeah.
So that's one of the common things you see. Same thing for Tanvi as well. Notice Tanvi. Hey Tanvi, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, you notice it's very similar to what Rasika had done, except your shape is slightly different, but it's very similar to what Rasika had done. But although your rendering is very good, so that's very happy to see that. See, Pratya has captured the likeness very well, but then the rendering could have become neater. As far as the volume is concerned, as far as the shape is concerned, Pratya has captured it very well. You can clearly notice the distinction here. You can notice the light here. You can notice the shape here. You can notice the depth here. All of this have been captured very well. Are you here, Pratya?
Yes, yeah, I've done it very shabbily, the inking part.
Yeah. Yes, the inking part could have been neater. Don't say I've done it shabbily, you just say it could have been neater. Be optimistic.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Be optimistic. So regarding Usha's work here, see, Usha has actually drawn out the planes here, the major planes, this one here, and this one also has been drawn it out in that way. And I'm certain that when you look at a reference and actually give it time, you will be able to make it more seamless and be able to draw it. Yes.
Yes, Niranjan.
Yes.
I haven't drawn this thing also. Black pencil mark. Yeah.
This one also.
But
See,
still it's dark on the the
ridge. So I will tell you some of the reasons or some of the portions that can be worked onto this. Firstly, what I like about
I
this
drew
is
a
that,
line in the beginning, no, Niranjan.
yes, you drew out these blocks. Yes,
Yeah.
and it's very clear. That's what. So it looks very blocky.
Mm.
Your nose looks very I mean, not your nose.
Mm.
Your drawing of the nose
Yes.
looks very looks very blocky.
Yeah.
So when you're drawing the next time, make sure that these blocks that you're making, these are blocks, these are construction blocks.
Mm.
These are construction blocks like this. All of these are construction blocks. And when you ink them, you don't exactly have to outline them. You could outline them if you want to better understand the volumes.
Mm.
But it's just for construction purpose. And when you ink them, you can make it smooth. That's what I did.
Okay.
Or if you actually want to draw them, like it's like what I explained right now.
Mm.
So I can, if I want to study it more, I can block them out this way.
I did it on purpose so that when I refer it for future thing, I
Future
can
things you can understand.
Yeah.
Yes, no problem with that. You have been able to understand, and also the best part is your rendering has become very neat. Very neat it looks.
Thank you.
Your pen rendering part looks very neat. Give it time. I mean, next time when you draw the nose, you can use a construction, you can use this pencil, you can use this blocky structures as construction nose. But when you ink them, when you ink them, make sure that you don't outline all of it that way.
Okay.
Right. That's how you make it seamless. That's how you make it smooth. You just have to what you say, outline
the contouring without doing the outline.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Contouring without doing the outline.
Okay.
So do the outline where it's most necessary.
Okay.
Most necessary.
Thank you, Niranjan.
Welcome. So this had explained. Yeah, this is Rosina. Hey Rosina. Again, see, Rosina is another person who inks very neatly. As far as the drawing form is concerned, I can see that this part here, this wings here could have been wider.
Okay.
These wings could have been wider, and each of these. So this you have drawn it in ways that it's what you say. It looks very nice. This looks very nice with it seamlessly blending in. But that's not exactly how a nose is, isn't it? Notice this. Notice the thing here. If you notice, this is actually seen as a separate structure. Didn't you have this reference image?
Yes, I have.
You did. Yeah. If you notice, this actually sticks out as a separate structure. It's not that. See, this actually curves outwards a lot. This curves outwards a lot, and then this curves inwards. So if I clear this up, see that? I can't exactly see them as coming this way and then seamlessly going this way. It's not. I mean, feel your own nose. It pops out here. This pops out here, right? This bridge and this part, it has a clear demarcation. Bridge and the wings has a clear demarcation. Right, so pay attention to that, which is why we actually draw them as structures first. And then we slowly we work on them, we ink them. So make sure whenever you draw them, and also see here as well, the width, you need width here. Right, for this nose, you need width here, this part.
Okay.
Right, this part. So this width is needed. And again, so these volumes have to be divided using depth, right? Using shadows, you can certainly suggest the volumes. So Notice for this one, the light source is coming from here, and then these regions are shadowed. And these shadows are marked with subtle tones and shades.
Yeah.
Right, subtle tones and shades. So that's something. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. What else? See, notice yours, you kind of drew it seamlessly, and again, this part also, you have drawn these outlines. So since you have actually blocked out these outlines, it looks very sharp. Rather, it needs to be smoother. So understand the usage of lines and then get that done. Okay. Anyways, nice effort, nice work, and the inking part is on spot. A lot of you, the inking part is on spot. This is very nice work, Vijita. Very nice work. So as far as, hey Vijita, are you here?
Yes, Niran.
Yes. See, this part has been done very well. The nose, I can clearly see the distinction between this region here, this region here, this region here. Only when you make the strokes, make sure that you are actually, you're not drawing the strokes only because I did it, because you're actually drawing the strokes to represent it in your fashion. Because when I notice these strokes that are placed here, it kind of seems like you just did it because I did it. It seems out of place with this entire drawing here. You notice?
Okay.
It kind
Yeah,
of
yeah. I was not
eyelashes.
sure.
You're
Yeah,
not
I was
sure.
not sure to curve it. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I just wanted to show you how the contouring works for this. I just wanted to show you that, like horizontal, you can also show vertical contours, because I wanted to help you understand this form better. Right. So when you're drawing contour, you draw them as both horizontal and vertical. I just wanted to show it to you that way. So I just made suggestive strokes. But then,
Yeah.
right, you wanted to say something?
No, I can make out. I mean, I understood why you were trying to draw that, but I think when I tried it, it didn't come out that well.
Yes.
Especially because the sphere part there is a bit. Yeah,
Yes,
that part.
yes. So that part is slightly challenging. That part is slightly challenging. Either ways, it's done well. It's done well, but yeah, I mean, just practice. You've been able to understand how to draw the noses, right?
Yes.
So now try drawing them in different angles. So in your practice exercise, you have nose that is here. Then you can try out the nose that is turned upwards, that is tilted. Then you have the 3/4 view, profile views. These are all the profile views, sorry. Then you have your 3/4 view. See 3/4 view where you can see this upwards. Notice for this one, because of this particular expression, the nose is crunched inwards. How do you represent that? These are all very challenging. This is something that Usha would enjoy doing. It's crunched. There are a lot of folds here. When like when it's going, it's like this.
You can try that kind of stroke by like, okay.
See, when I pull this, I mean the size of my nose is actually, it's constrained in the folds come. Right. So
we have to get the basic drawing right.
Yes. And another fun part of this exercise is that tomorrow's session we are going to draw lips as well. We are learning to draw lips as well. So when you're drawing nose, leave some space for the lips below it. Probably if you're drawing in an A5 paper, leave some space below for the lips. Let's say you're drawing this drawing here. You drew the nose, good. Leave space for the lips. And then you can combine nose and lips together. So for each of these practice exercises, I mean, lips also provides a lot of interesting examples. So in the same examples, it's the same practice period you're going to have for lips as well. So combine both of them together. When you draw portrait parts individually, it can be easy, but sometimes when you put them together, it can become a little challenging. Bringing in the context, bringing in how each part correlates with another, these can be a little challenging, and putting them together will really help you understand them. So practice, when you're practicing, I would say put in a little context. If you're practicing nice, practice couple of eyes together, add in another organ, probably put in nose, or probably, like if you're drawing lips, couple it with nose, couple it with mustache, couple it with something. Like when you pair it together, it will help you bring in the context. And that will, if you're having trouble combining, drawing big portraits, this will help you really get over it. And of course, you can isolate each of these features and draw as well. Adding in a context will help you better. Yes, I didn't see Malanti's drawing. I mean, why is everything all right? I had not noticed.
I sent it, Niranjan.
You sent it. Oh, I didn't. That's what I was wondering. I didn't see it in the. I did not see it in the group.
Just a moment, I'll send it again.
Wait. Yes, I saw it. Oh, very nice. Very well drawn. Lovely. See, this has been drawn very well. Just that this inking portion could have been, I mean, as far as the form of the nose is concerned, you have actually got a very clear nose. It's a very well drawn nose. As far as the form is concerned. Very well drawn nose. Just that the inking part could have been much more cleaner. So if you're having trouble cross-hatching with it, what you can do is you can space your strokes and draw it. Let me show you how that is done, spacing the strokes. So put them in. See, when you put the strokes closer together, it can become challenging. It can become challenging for you to capture it, especially when you're cross-hatching. So when that gets difficult, space your strokes. See, space your strokes and just suggest this way. I remember when you joined in for the session, you had said that inking and cross-hatching, that really isn't something that you're really looking forward to. What you're looking forward to is to learn how to draw.
Yes.
Really understand and learn how to draw so that you can watercolor portraits.
Okay.
Right, that's what you wanted to say. So
yes,
don't pay much attention to the inking part.
No, this also I want to do properly in the part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then if you want to do that way, great.
Yes, I'll try again now, Niranjan.
Use bolder pens and space your strokes little more.
Okay.
So in that way, you should be able to get it well. Anyways, good work by all of you. And we'll see again tomorrow. Now, if you have questions, do ask.
Niranjan, my nose.
Your nose. Yeah, I'm wondering where it went.
It was in the first. Okay. Yeah, after.
Where is it?
Yeah, before it.
Before
your two videos. Yeah.
Here. Oh, you already completed this. Okay. Right. See, let's do. You actually drew the context. This is what I meant by adding the context. So Deepak here has added slightly, so you can actually see how the nose plays a part of the entire face here, right?
Yeah, that was the plan actually.
Yes, you can actually see how the nose play. Yeah, see, this is well done. I mean, okay, so let me do a slight comparison.
I think the face is not exactly straight, it's little tilted.
It's little tilted. See. So when I look into this one, let's do a comparison of this one.
Cool, now new or use of technology.
Yeah, you never considered this, isn't it?
Yeah, that's cool actually.
Let's do a. This needs some editing. That's a problem. WhatsApp images, they just don't get added into Photoshop for some reason. So I'll have to slowly crop this.
Save it, I think, and then.
Yes. Guys, do stay for this. You're going to love this. You guys put in so much effort, so why not?
Actually, I missed starting 40 minutes today.
Then
Actually,
when did you come in and draw? I'm surprised. When did you come
I
in?
joined around 4:45.
Oh,
Actually, I was drawing that Nostradam picture,
okay.
and I didn't see the time actually. I
Oh,
thought it's three something, but later I saw it's already 4+, so I just
okay.
jumped in back. So I missed the first part. I joined when you explaining the side view. Yeah.
Right. Yes, save it. Okay. This is how I had Kritya work. Do check out the feedback. For the feedback, I took a printout. I put them together, took a printout of them, and then it's on the printout that I corrected because I can correct better when I draw on paper as compared to annotating on screen. That's the way that I did it. So do check out the feedbacks. Yeah, this is place. The next image. Okay, so when you notice the two of them, first thing when you're drawing a whole contextual, when you're drawing a portrait like this, is to first consider the axis. So look at the axis here.
Yeah, it's
Notice
not
it's
straight.
tilted. I will represent yours with a different color. See, yours is exactly tilted this way. First thing.
But yeah, the other way.
Yeah, it's the other way. Secondly, when you notice the slant of this. Okay, this is very interesting. Notice how this follows a straight line. Sorry. This follows this straight line, whereas Deepak, this one here, yours, in fact, I can see a slight tilt like this. Slight one. Notice it's like it's slightly dislocated from here. See this?
Yeah.
It's not exactly straight. So pay attention to these things. This is what happens when we suddenly hurry. So when we draw the volume, like as I had said, like I had told you before, when you draw out this volume like this, and then enclose the nose within this, you can make it more articulate this way. Here, here. So when you draw out these volumes and fit your structure within them, it becomes more easier to understand. Then the next thing that I want to bring your attention to is a nose hole. This is the first thing that I noticed. Yes, granted, the whole of the nose in this person is pretty big, but you have made it extremely big, much bigger than necessary.
Okay.
Right, much bigger than necessary. See, just notice it side by side. It's
yeah.
This side is okay, but this side,
it's more big.
Yes, it's huge. It's like I could go inside that. Right.
Yeah.
Then what else? Now pay attention to now we have these major planes, we have these major parts covered. Then yeah, this seems fine. Then let's look into the smaller aspects of this drawing here. Consider the division between this part and this part. So I understand you wanted to make it a You wanted to bring in this difference. See, notice the difference here. It's like this and it goes this way.
Yeah.
I can see this. It's like this step that goes this way. Although you have been able to bring it, yours I feel is too abrupt. Right.
It's not smooth.
Yes, it isn't smooth. This is a good place to start with. This is a good place to start with. But as you advance further, it's a good place to start. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just pointing out this is a good place to start with. But as you advance further, I think you can already what you say, let go of this blockiness. You can already let go of this blockiness. You can draw it out with pencils as blocks, but then when you ink them, make sure you understand how this smoothness translates. So you've been able to make it smooth here. Notice you've been able to make it smooth here.
Yes.
This you have been able to capture. So is this part. Understand, notice the tilt that's coming here. Notice the contouring, the tilt that's coming. It's extreme. It's pretty extreme.
Yeah.
This needs to tilt this way, these strokes that you draw, because when you actually understand the contour and draw it that way, you are able to, you can visualize it. You can actually visualize the portrait and then adjust everything accordingly. That also brings me to the next part where I say that more of this nose. If you notice here, this nose is actually turned. It's a very, very small thing. But if you pay close attention, you'll see that this nose is in fact turned slightly upwards as compared to your nose, which is in fact what you say, it's turned upwards, and this nose here, it's tilted. I mean, this part is tilted so that it goes in. When I notice your nose, your drawing of the nose here, it isn't actually going as in as it should be. It kind of seems like what you say. See, notice here. It's going in and then it comes outwards. Right.
Okay.
This goes in and then this volume comes outwards. When I notice your drawing here, I can't see that it's going in like that and it's coming outwards. Rather, what I see is a structure that suddenly, a cylinder that's suddenly popping out and then remaining the same throughout. I can't exactly see this slow pyramid like shape. It's a slope, right? It's a pyramid like slope. I'm not able to see that. I'm not able to see that part here.
I think I have to reduce that curvature of that upper nose part.
Yes, you get it. The ball of the nose. Very good observation here. The ball of the nose. This is your ball of the nose.
Yeah.
That's it. Whereas in your drawing, Deepak, it's huge. No, it's even bigger than this.
Yeah.
See,
big nose.
It's huge. Right.
Yeah.
So these are some of these are what makes a portrait unique. I mean, these small things, they all pile up together and it becomes, I mean, huge difference it makes in the end. I can see that the lips needs lots of work, but I'm not getting there. We'll get into the lips tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So so that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for joining, and I really hope you enjoyed this session. And yeah, breathe life to your portraits by learning to draw good noses.
Thank you, Ranjan.
Yeah, and not to nose in anyone else's business.
Oh, lovely.
I've got a lot of nosy things to say. Don't be a nosy person.
What else?
Well, don't stick your nose in others' business. Don't stick your nose in a beehive. You'll get bit. I've got a lot of these.
Share them in the group.
Yes, today was a very nosy session. I liked it.
Nosy session. I mean, that sounds condescending. That sounds demeaning. Nosy session.
Why not? We all stuck our noses in your drawing. You stuck your nose in our drawings.
Oh my God. Oh
Why
my
not?
God. Okay. Okay, lovely.
Because after last sessions, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. We decided to nose in others' drawings today, which was fun.
Why don't we do this then? After each session, we play a game where each one of you comes up with creative phrases like this using that particular organ.
That was fun.
Nice. Tanvi, yes. I mean, I don't follow sports or Olympics as such, but it's amazing. India won gold in javelin. It's amazing. It's funny. I mean, regarding sport, I mean, everyone blames the thing about every complaints why India is not winning much gold at Olympics, but then we know what exactly happens. We had one PT period in 1 week, it was taken by the maths teacher. And if anyone who says they want to be a sports person before they even complete, they are pushed out. So, but it's really cool that there are winners coming up, and that's really providing a lot of hope and encouragement to many aspiring athletes.
Niranjan, I have one question.
Yes,
why are so many people interested in drawing and creating artistic skulls? And I don't see that much of it in India.
Artistic skulls.
Yeah, like skull drawing. I don't know.
Skull drawing.
Skulls, yeah.
Where did this question come from? I'm curious, Pratya.
Just generally, whenever I see any work on Instagram, so some people, yeah, especially outside India, I think people are obsessed
about skulls. See, I mean, even in India, there are many cultures that are obsessed about skulls. It's a very interesting question here. And okay, so what do you guys think? I would like to hear from you.
I was just wondering if you know something about it, if there is some other context, because during and around Halloween, I think it's okay, but I don't know if there is something else to it. So I just thought you may know, so I asked.
It's very interesting. See, I mean, skulls mean different. It has a lot of significance. Archana said something, by the way. What is it? Don't cut your nose off. What is that? Sounds horrible. Don't cut off your nose. Nose to spite your face. My God, that sounds so gory. That sounds so gory.
That's like, trying to put someone down or something, but you end up actually harming yourself.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Very good one.
Very good one. Okay, so
this skull thing reminded me of something. The skull drawing that she mentioned. So I was in the museum in Australia, and there was this young girl, a college student, who was given a nice chair and lights and all by the museum authorities to sit, and she had a piece of I think it's a bear skull or something outside, and she was drawing that. And so we all were very interested. We went and had a look at her, and then she showed her sketchbook, and her sketchbook was filled with drawings of skulls of various animals.
Oh, wow.
And it seems usually she just used to come and sit somewhere in the corner in the museum and draw that. Seeing her sketchbook, the museum authorities were so impressed that they gave her a table and a chair and the freedom to, get access to any of the skulls which she wants to draw. They've made that place for her.
Wow. That's amazing. Do you have some photos? Did you take photos? I mean, typically when I go out as well with my sketchbook and I can draw. Back then there was no phone photography. It was very long ago then.
No, the phone was there, but back then I'm talking about like some maybe 8 years ago, but I wasn't so much on social media or clicking pictures, so I didn't do anything.
Okay. Because I know, as a matter of fact, when I go out with my sketchbooks and I sketch outside, some curious people come, and then sometimes a crowd gathers and people take photographs of all of that. People like taking photographs of people. I don't know what they do with it, but they just do it. It's very interesting. Lovely. See, regarding the whole skull part, here's what I think. Skull carries a lot of cultural significance because, see, firstly, when you look at an image of a skull, it brings in different emotions. It brings in our worst fear, death. Skull is actually a representation. Even if you notice what is it? Danger ahead. Do not step. All you see is skull with 2 bones. You don't see any other bones. Skull with two bones. Or if you say, if when you're in death, horror, anything, it's just skull. So skull, because it just represents our worst fear, which is death. It just, what you say, it just intrigues a lot of people. It just intrigues a lot of artists. That's really what I think. It intrigues a lot of artists, and it becomes a very, and also death is mysterious. We don't know. People make different assumptions about death. Some people say there is a world outside of this world. Some people say we get reborn, but none of it has been proven. And so it leads us to a lot of mysteries and fascination. Probably that's why I have not been obsessed with drawing skulls per se. I have drawn skull because of its texture. I am interested in rendering, and I have drawn skull because of its texture. So that's what I have drawn skull for. But apart from that, I don't know. Probably this is why it just captures a fantasy. So guys, before we leave, I want you all to, I forgot about this. I want you all to turn on your camera and let's take a group photo with your nosy business.
Mine is not so great, so that's why I didn't share it.
That's okay. That's okay. I mean, it's all right. You can try again. I hope you enjoyed the session at least. Show your face as well. Yes, lovely, lovely. All right then. All right then. So, oh, I just got this option of immersive view. Wait, I'm just starting on. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, this is amazing. Lovely. Have you tried this new immersive view feature on Zoom?
Yeah, you can change your background also. There's a lot of options.
Yes. This is amazing. I'm just testing it out, and this looks cool. It's almost like you can see all of you as students in front of me in class, in a classroom setting. Nice. All right then. Take care. Bye, and we'll see.
Thank you, Niranjan. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey, thank you.